Hi everyone, this is the accumulation and momentum data analysis for 8th of July. So let's start with the important news. This is actually 2 days old news, and since I was not making videos back then, I'm covering it today. So the news says that the most of these mutual funds are sitting on almost 30% cash, right? So why is this happening? So few of them raise concerns that the valuations, especially in the broader market, is quite hefty, and they don't see the growth coming as per, justifying that valuation, right? So that is the reason, although the SIPs, if you look at the SIP inflows, it is hitting new highs every single month. So SIP money continues to come in, but these guys are not deploying that. They are sitting on cash because they feel that the market is overvalued and they are waiting for a correction. But a correction is not coming in. So why is that happening? So two things. One is the negative part is the valuations are expensive. The positive is since a lot of these are sitting on so much cash, what is going to happen is at every 5, 7, 10% kind of a crack in a good quality name, these guys are going to rush to buy it. So the downside is pretty much covered, I would say, because what is going to happen is once a little correction comes into like very good quality names, because these guys are sitting on so much cash, they would want to start deploying, right? And that is not letting the market really correct much, right? You would see like small, shallow corrections here and there. And once that happens, you would see that buying again comes back in and starts pushing the market up, right? So there is going to be a time, probably once the news comes in that let's say the tariff thing is settled and everything is settled, and if the earnings start picking up, these guys would eventually have to push the money into the market. At that time, maybe the market would go bonkers and kind of go through all-time high for all the indices, right? Until that happens, I don't see a major crack coming in because there is so much money that these guys have that one or the other person is going to deploy that and kind of buy it. And no point in for these guys to actually sell because they're already sitting on 30% cash. They would not be really selling whatever they already hold at lower levels, right? So this is about the liquidity that most of these mutual funds have. And the only thing is, when will this come in? It's not about whether it will come in, it's just about when it will come in, right? So let's move on to the chart. So the accumulation in the large caps kind of improved a bit today compared to the last 2 days, right? So fourth was actually the worst. Yesterday a little improvement, and today it has improved even further. But if you look at the average, it is quite lower than the average of the last many days, right? If you look at the large cap momentum, so it is continuously coming down, right? So there is no real uptick happening. One day we saw a little bounce, but that was again sold into yesterday, and the momentum continues to weaken in the large cap stocks. If you move on to the mid cap, so here there is a pretty decent bounce in the accumulation for mid caps, coming to almost the average of the last let's say if you take the average of the last 6 months, it is somewhere around the average, maybe a little lower than that, but definitely there is a pretty decent uptick today in the mid cap accumulation. And also if you look at the mid cap momentum, it is kind of giving us a sense that it is making a bottom and it is trying to move higher from here, right? So both of them look pretty decent. All depends on what the tariff news comes in, right? Now coming to the small cap accumulation, it has been pretty weak and continuously moving down, right? So there is no real fund flow going into these small cap stocks as of now, especially with all these uncertainties that are there regarding to the tariff and stuff, right? If you look at the small cap momentum, that also continues to weaken, and every single day it is kind of moving down. Although in between we had a little spike, but that kind of got sold into, and we are moving lower, right? So as per the whole data as well as the momentum, looks like the market is going to be sideways or continuously moving down, especially in the large and the small caps. Probably the mid caps might be a little resilient, but until there is clarity on the tariffs, I don't see a major uh, up move coming in the market as of now, right? So let's see how the data is tomorrow. After tomorrow's session, I would be making another video to understand what the market did, right? Hopefully this helps. Thank you.